It's your boy Jake.
And
You're funny Mexican.
or Nate.
Very funny.
Yeah. So we're all here. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the tags because I cannot do that before I could start the live stream. I do not know why they don't have that as an option, but gonna have to deal with it. So.
All right.
Wrong account. I gotta switch the YouTube account. I thought Google would do that automatically, but no,
Wait,
it
live
didn't.
or no?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like on my computer.
We got some topics today.
Yeah.
We got some topics today to show you.
Yeah. We got a lot of topics.
Topics to cover for today's podcast.
Today we are going to be covering pretty much what everyone has been noticing lately. Antonio Brown is at it again. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be going over the NFL scores we were not able to cover on Thursday. So the games from Friday and Saturday. And we will be discussing Major League Baseball's pennant race, as well as some key matchups and key performances coming up or that happened over the weekend.
Yes. So the first thing we're going to start off with is AB is at it.
Yep.
I was gonna prime engram. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
If you don't mind, I would like to start with this topic here. Antonio Brown is the biggest crybaby in the league. It's official. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I am laughing. It's hysterical that this man just wants more and more, and a potential retirement from football because you can't wear your old helmet. That's a disgrace.
Here's a take I have on it. All right, we have certain regulations. We have certain things about the sport that have to be mandated. All right,
Yes.
Helmets are one of those. Helmets are things that the NFL needs to do something about, because we look at a lot of NFL legends and a lot of players in the past have had issues with their mental health and concussions. So the fact that the NFL is taking a step to mandate a certain kind of helmet that would be more beneficial to the players is a good step. And the fact that Antonio Brown is trying to go back to the old helmet, even though it may not be better for him, is ridiculous. Because we finally have the NFL trying to do something, and Antonio Brown just wants to do his own thing. That's all he's ever wanted, is to do whatever the hell he wants.
Just think about this. I hope you don't mind for a second.
No, go ahead.
Antonio Brown, not this last year, but the past year, he was never like this. He never expressed any feelings towards any quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger, or anybody on the team when he was on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He put his head down and played.
In my opinion, it was just out of nowhere. Completely out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's the best. He's the best. He doesn't have to show up a lot for practice. He's skipping practices. He's getting injured from the Cairo incident and all that. I believe it's his fault. Because how can you wear the wrong shoes to
He didn't have the proper footwear.
It's unbelievable how you can mess that up. And now you're thinking of retirement because of over a stupid helmet that the NFL does not allow. That's just disgraceful. Good. Go ahead. Retire. It's like nobody even wants you anyway. Although I do like the Oakland Raiders defending his case.
Well, here's the shitty situation the Raiders are in. The Raiders went out and made a deal good enough for Pittsburgh to get AB. Now,
Oh, yeah, Oakland 100% won that game.
no,
Yes.
they didn't. 100%. Pittsburgh won it because
You think Pittsburgh won that?
hell yeah. I mean, AB has not practiced once. I don't think with the Raiders.
He has, but not as much.
Full on practice. I mean, he hasn't fully practiced. He's done some things, but he can't do much because of his feet.
Yes.
And now he's threatening to retire without even playing a single snap for the Raiders. He spent all that time trying to get out of Pittsburgh, and the Raiders were like, all right, we want you to come here. And now he's going to screw them over. So they gave up all that stuff to Pittsburgh, and now they're not even going to get a return for it.
Which is why this is absolutely disgraceful.
That's why I think the Raiders are losers in this entire trade.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers got 3rd and 5th round picks, which as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I would expect for more because Antonio Brown is the best wide receiver in the NFL. No doubt about that.
All right, go on.
His talent is just crazy. It's ridiculous. And I would expect us to, get a little more, like, maybe get like maybe like one of them 2nd or 1st round picks. Just all that. But I understand why we didn't get much, because the Pittsburgh Steelers organization was so desperate to get him out of there.
Yeah.
They had to get him out of there. Like, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they were in a tough situation.
No choice whatsoever. So, yes, Steelers made a fantastic move and get rid of him. I would say fantastic, but a good move to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And
that's a similar reason why the Giants got rid of Odell, because there were instances with Odell where there were drama, and New York didn't want to deal with it.
But here's the thing with the Giants, the difference between the Antonio Brown trade and the Odell Beckham.
Odell shows up.
Yes. Odell goes to practices, he works. Sure, he's a little crybaby on the field, but he
At
works.
times. For the most part, he's all right, and he comes to work. He doesn't like when a lot of the star players were in their contract year. I think it was last year or the year before. Odell was one of them, and almost every one of them held out except Odell. He still went to training camp. He still did all the things the Giants were holding.
Well, Odell is I would think, a team player.
Yeah, he is.
He's a team player. He'll do anything for his team, basically.
He wants to win.
He definitely wants to win. His only shot was, what was the year when the Giants made the playoffs?
2016.
2016. That was basically his only shot. From now, hopefully Cleveland, that changes for him.
Yeah, but back to Antonio Brown.
Yes.
What he's been doing is just ridiculous. All right, we can't.
Holding out on practices.
Yes.
And it's just overall just being a big, a D-bag, being an ass. I mean, why? Couple years ago, he was like named like one of the most kind and all that. And he was a good team player. Backed up his teammates, backed up his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, whenever he gets, criticized or hated. And now he's just this big punk who thinks he runs the whole place.
Yeah.
How many people really get?
It's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Nathan, what's your take on the AB drama?
He needs gone. Get him out of there.
You think he should be gone? Here's the thing. If
Who wants him?
get rid of Antonio
No one
Brown,
wants him.
you're gonna have to trade him.
Yeah, you'd have to trade him, but at this point, no one wants him.
Oh, no one wants him. Fuck. And it's just unbelievable how he acts like that.
Yeah, it's
2
just
years. That's just saying Changes.
He's got to grow up.
You really? I don't even think there is a shot for him because after that, I think after this year they might try to trade him. I wouldn't be shocked if they do.
I doubt they will, because who's gonna want him?
Because you got teams like the Washington Redskins who are desperate need of a wide receiver, and they'll trade him with.
No, and they got an asshole owner, so I bet they would take him.
I'm not saying that's true. That's not going to be true, but you know, there's teams out there that are really desperate and they want Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous though that he just thinks he runs the whole place.
Yeah.
People think they're the best wide receiver in the league. Does not give you the right to act like you don't have to do much.
Still got to come to work. Still got to do your job.
Still gotta go to work.
There's
Look at
no.
Julio Jones. Look at Julio Jones.
Julio Jones is a prime example of put your goddamn head down and do your job.
Yes. Him, DeAndre Hopkins, he shows up.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and you have to mention Odell.
Yeah.
He shows up.
You know the thing I like about Julio? He got paid. He got his contract extension, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And he deserved it. Julio deserved all that, every single penny.
And he has been with the Falcons, and he has done everything they've asked since he's come to Atlanta.
Exactly. He's loyal and puts the team first. He's a team player. That's what you want
Yeah.
from a superstar.
That is 100% what you look for.
Exactly.
And it's just disappointing seeing such a talented player just throw everything away like that.
Potentially. I mean, he's still in there, but he's potentially. Remember his little interview in March that he said he doesn't need football?
Yeah.
That's just childish. That's just childish right there.
He could get released. So that's a possibility.
Here's
That's
the problem with
definitely.
the Oakland Raiders. If they do release Antonio Brown, that's a lot of money to take.
I mean, he's still got some guaranteed money left on the table, but I don't know.
Yep.
There's a lot of problems with that Raiders team right now, and they really got to fix it before the season starts.
It's dysfunctional yet. I'm trusting John Gruden here on what he's gonna do, so let him do his thing.
I've seen a little bit of the Hard Knocks thing, and Gruden doesn't take that crap. He's a good coach.
He's ticked off that he doesn't show up to practice. He's ticked.
Gruden. A lot of people give Gruden a lot of shit, but Gruden's a good coach. Gruden's
a good coach. I mean,
he's a Super Bowl winning coach.
Had one of the greatest made one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Raiders legend.
Yes. He would have had 2 rings, but you know,
Brady.
Incident happened.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but that's Antonio Brown.
That is my take of this Antonio Brown situation here. I think it's childish. I think it's just over dramatic and just plain out stupidity.
Yep, preach it, brother.
He's basically throwing everything away over a damn helmet. All right, Chris, are we ready to move on to our scores?
Yeah, but this is a little bit random. Got some news headlines right now. We're gonna go over real quick. 2 of them are of the sport that one of the sports we're talking about. One is from a different sport that we do not cover. However, I feel like it's pretty well known and should be talked about. Steelers wide receiver coach suddenly died at the age of 62.
Yes.
So
yeah, most Steelers fans are very aware of that.
So Coach Drake passed away at 62 unexpectedly. Very sad. He did a good job with that receiving core in Pittsburgh.
Yes. Yes. Oh yes, he did. 100%. Great guy. Even Antonio Brown, he made him great.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, like all of them.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to him. He's definitely a legend.
Rest in peace, man.
Oh my God, I almost said that.
The Ravens have traded K.R. Vedvik to the Vikings for an undisclosed draft pick. The Vedvik is a kicker.
So they traded a kicker.
Sources say that Baltimore will receive a 2020 fifth round draft pick.
2020 fifth round draft pick for a kicker.
Yes.
I'm hearing this right. Kicker?
Yeah.
What about that Cardinals VP?
Oh no.
I really never see kickers get traded.
Yeah, that's kind of
usually
strange.
never
I've
get
never seen that.
traded.
Yeah.
That's a strange trade right there.
And
Like-
this
So,
and this
I
had.
want a
Oh wait.
first, so I want a first round pick, and I'll give you my best kicker. Would you accept that trade?
Depends who the kicker is.
All right, Justin Tuck. You're not being serious, right? you're thinking about it.
No, I'm thinking about the other person that we know.
Zane Gonzalez.
Hey, Gonzalez.
All right.
No.
And Vinatieri.
Vinatieri is I could be up there. Not up first. I would not.
Vinatieri's like 46, though.
He's definitely he's up there in age. I'll give you that.
And this is not a sport that we cover, but this is a pretty big headline. This is tennis. Serena Williams retired today. Because of
she's one of the greatest of all time, obviously.
because of a back injury. So that is surprising to me. I did not expect that. And actually, fun fact, Serena and Venus Williams are co-owners of the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually are.
Yeah. They own a small majority of the Dolphins, which I thought was pretty cool. All right. So that's some of the headlines I saw from around the sports world. So let's go ahead.
Cardinals VP, Kevin Weston.
Oh, I don't pay attention to the Cardinals. I mean, I don't see anything right now. I'm trying to. Okay, can this NFL thing move? Okay.
All right, let's go to the scores. Let's go to the scores right now.
6.
All right. So we're gonna start with the NFL scores from Friday. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Steelers won that game 30-28.
Very high scoring game, I will give him that, but I was mainly surprised of how the rookies did for Pittsburgh. Like they really did step up. Like from what I've been watching. That Devin Bush, he's our first 10th pick, I believe, in the first round.
Yeah.
He got 5 tackles in his first NFL preseason game, which is honestly very good.
Nice.
Honestly, very good. Yeah.
Rudolph did pretty good. Mason Rudolph.
Well, him and Josh Dobbs, they're gonna be battling for that second string spot.
Yeah, and one of them's got to take over for Ben.
Yeah. The big question is who is gonna be the successor when Big Ben Roethlisberger retires?
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback in Steelers history. I'm sorry to Terry Bradshaw. He's got 4 rings. Ben only has 2, but Ben has mainly all the stats.
Yeah.
Broke all the quarterback records.
Yeah. Ben's been tremendous for the Steelers. Buccaneers passed for...
They've proven that they need Ben. They need Ben out there.
Yeah, they definitely do. Alright, let's have a look here. Buccaneers passed for 390 yards total, rushed for 89 yards. Rushing game could be a little bit better. Buccaneers...
Very good. What do you say, 309 passing yards?
390.
Oh, 90. Oh, wow. That's very good.
I noticed right now, Steven Snell, a receiver for the Buccaneers, 7 receptions for 119 yards. Pretty good day for him.
Wow, no, that's very good.
Yeah, that is a good
Bruce,
day.
Head coach Bruce Arians, he might have to look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Quarterback.
Those stats, 7 catches, right? Did you say 7 catches?
7 catches out of 9 targets.
That's very good. Very good.
One thing I am noticing right now, Ryan Griffin, I believe that's his name, the quarterback, one of the backups, fumbled twice.
Yes, that's gotta
Quarterback,
hang on to the ball.
you got to hang on to that.
Gotta hang on to the ball. Can't be causing those turnovers.
And
Tampa, I don't really know what is Tampa's deal here. I guess they're expecting Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles to fix up their whole team, I guess, but there's really like no talent on it.
They have a lot of questions. They have a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Will Jameis Winston have it break out finally?
Yeah.
Like,
will he not get suspended for sexually assaulting an Uber driver? It's these kinds of things that we gotta wonder.
He needs to step up.
Yeah, he does.
Stop acting like a child. This ain't college. This is the NFL.
It's the pros. You gotta start acting like one, and I feel like he will. I feel like he's had a better career than Mariota, because Mariota's been hurt.
Well, Jameis Winston is getting into trouble. And I have very high faith in Marcus Mariota. He's got weapons.
I mean, I have high faith in Mariota as well, but I feel like right now, Winston's been better. He's been on the field more. He's done better. That's a pretty important note.
Just look at the team success, though.
I mean, the team may not be as successful, but then again, he's been on the field. That's something you can't really deny.
Ooh, that was nice right there.
I guess you could say that, but I'm talking about team success.
Yeah.
Mariota has gotten to the playoffs. Winston hasn't.
Yeah. It's just we got to see how
Mariota has done better than Winston, despite of his injuries.
Result-wise, I'd say, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. Buccaneers' offensive line did allow 4 sacks.
Gotta clean it up.
Yep.
Gotta clean it up.
That happened with some of the rookies, I believe.
Yes, okay. I think we covered most of that game. Let's head to the next game.
Alright, first I want to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the Steelers. 231 passing yards for the Steelers, 108 rushing yards. Pretty good from that front.
Very good from the running game.
James Washington, 4 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown, so he did pretty good receiving.
Rudolph and James Washington went to the same college.
Yeah.
Together. So, obviously, those two are going to have great chemistry. If Rudolph gets onto the field.
Yeah.
Now, there's no guarantees that he will, but there's a possibility.
And if we look, who is this? Kevin Rader had a fumble. So, gotta clean up the fumbles, gotta hold on to the ball. Alright, moving on to the next game, we have Minnesota at New Orleans. The Vikings scored 34 in that game, while New Orleans could only put up 25 in a loss at the Superdome.
Okay, at the Superdome.
Cousins. Kirk Cousins was perfect, 4 for 4 with 65 yards and a touchdown. A total of 247 yards passing with 213 yards rushing.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big number right there.
Yeah, and Minnesota allowed 0 sacks.
Well, that's definitely a good plus for the offensive line.
Offensive line did a good job.
Finished very dead last year.
But then again, when they went to the NFC Championship game, they had a really good O-line, so hopefully they can bounce back.
Completely fell apart next year, but hopefully this year they'll clean it up. Like you said, no sacks allowed. Very good game for the offensive line. Very good game for the Vikings overall.
Especially with the offense, the rushing game too.
Oh, for sure.
We look. Saints got 196 yards passing with 141 rushing. No fumbles.
146 yards rushing.
Yeah, 141. They allowed 2 sacks. No fumbles. No fumbles, so that was good.
Okay,
And
that is very good, actually.
So here's a little stat that I just saw. Now, do you think the leading rusher was a running back for New Orleans?
Leading rusher?
Yeah.
Are you asking who's the leading rusher, or
Who led the game in rushing for New Orleans?
in that game?
Yeah.
Well, it can't be Kamara because Kamara has
He didn't play.
probably saving.
Basically, do you think it was a running back?
No.
It wasn't. The leading rusher was Taysom Hill. The quarterback.
Backup quarterback.
One of the backup quarterbacks, the Swiss Army knife, as you would put it, for New Orleans. He was the leading rusher for New Orleans, which I feel like is pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I saw the Saints last year. They used a lot of trick plays with him. I think
Yeah.
it'd be like a big help to that offense this year.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy though. Leading rusher is quarterback.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of the Saints this year? Do you think they have a good shot?
I think the Saints will bounce back this year after that heartbreaking, no pass interference call in that game.
I feel like New Orleans deserved to win that.
In my opinion, yes, New Orleans deserved to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was
screwed over, but that's last year. That's last year.
Not much you can do.
Exactly, not much you can do.
And those were all the games from Friday.
All right.
Now, if we move on, we are going to the Saturday games. There were 3 games on the slate: Cincinnati Bengals and Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City stood their ground and won the game 38-17.
Good win for Kansas City.
Yeah. Bengals 253 yards passing. Now,
that's Kansas City's stats?
That was Cincinnati's passing stats.
Cincinnati's passing stats.
Kansas City 285 passing. Now, here's what I think killed the Bengals. So the Chiefs had 115 yards rushing. Tell me.
Chiefs had 115 yards rushing.
Yeah, tell me. What do you think? Over or under the rushing total right there for Cincinnati?
You know what? Since everyone's... I'm not a personal fan of the Cincinnati Bengals, but I think it's going to go over.
You think that they had more rushing yards that game than the Chiefs?
Yes. Yes.
Well, you would be really wrong, my guy.
Really?
They had 21 rushing yards that entire game. They had 21 rushing yards that entire game.
You're kidding.
Nope. Hey, their rushing game did awful.
21 rushing yards total. You're telling me that right now.
21. A whole 21. Yeah. Their longest rush was 5 yards.
That's unbelievable. Oh my god.
That's awful.
Great job from Kansas City, but
good defense, but that's god awful, man.
That is god awful. Even a preseason game, that's god awful.
Yeah, you would think there would be more than 21 fucking yards in a run.
Yeah.
They also fumbled it 3 times, which didn't help, and they got sacked 3 times.
But you mean, did Joe Mixon get in at all?
No.
No. That's probably why.
They sat him. Either way, these are his backups. So if Joe Mixon goes down, you have to deal with that. That's not good.
That's not good at all.
Gotta do better. Gotta do better. There's no way around that.
Like I said, you have better run blocking. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, that was atrocious how bad that was.
Oh my.
I don't understand how you can only 21.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just god awful.
Alright, let's move on.
Yes, yeah, about time. I'm
Rams.
just disgusted just watching that. Just listen to that.
Rams Raiders. Raiders won that game 14-3.
14-3. Very low scoring game.
Yeah, one of the only low scoring games in the preseason so far.
14-3.
Surprisingly, Nathan Peterman did not throw an interception, which I think I need to get.
Listen, Nathan Peterman can run.
Yeah, he led the team in rushing.
How about that from the young fellow?
Nathan Peterman had more rushing yards than the Cincinnati Bengals whole team.
That's hilarious. Even though, like, I would rank him as he was the worst player in the league last year.
Yeah.
But putting up that show, I actually enjoyed it. I was entertained.
Peterman 9 for 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Peterman, he's coming back.
Peterman 9 for 12, 66 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions.
No interceptions.
Yep, and he had 3 carries for 56 yards. A very good showing from Peterman.
Oh, definitely. Good, very good show.
Yeah. Don't really see any significant statistics from Oakland. The major thing I'm seeing with Los Angeles is they only had like 57 yards rushing. They gotta do better. And they had 2 fumbles lost. I think they recovered it themselves, but still, you gotta hold on to the ball.
Yep, exactly. Gotta hold on to the ball. There's no excuses.
You good? You good, Zach?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you.
Don't want no heart attacks on our show now.
I know that Cincinnati stat really jarred everyone's health.
Yeah, explain Cincinnati.
All right, the last game.
What would you rather? Listen. I gotta ask you this. Would you rather give up 9 sacks or rush for only 21 yards?
Oh God, do I want to be the Lions or Bengals?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to be the Lions or the Bengals? Honestly, I would probably take the sacks. Actually, no, that's kind of stupid.
I'd go with the I'd go with the yards because at least the offensive line didn't suck total ass.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad compared to Detroit's. I don't even know why I would say I would take the 9 sacks.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you okay, man? Like, what the heck? Oh, that's interesting. Last game. This was also one of the only low-scoring affairs. Thank God for the Niners because they beat the Cowboys 17-9.
I love it.
Cowboys only rushed for 55 yards. They fumbled once and had 239 yards passing, while San Francisco 251 yards passing. They did have 2 interceptions on San Francisco's side, which you got to do better with holding onto the ball, with 88 rushing yards.
And think about the 49ers. They're really in depth with running backs. So
yeah,
I think the rushing game will definitely produce.
Yeah, it's just a matter of their starters playing as well as
can stay healthy.
Yeah.
He's got to stay healthy. I think the Niners could have a potential playoff spot.
Plus Kittle. Kittle was one of the best tight ends last year.
No, I think he's the best tight end.
Oh.
No offense to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is very phenomenal. He's a very good tight end. But I think the honor goes to George Kittle. I think he's good last year.
That's a bold statement, my guy.
Yeah. The reason why I would pick George Kittle over Travis Kelce is because the quarterback for the Niners that backed up Jimmy G, he got it done.
Yeah.
With Kittle.
Nick
And
Mullins.
Kelsey had Mahomes like most of the season.
Yeah. So those were all the NFL scores from the weekend. Now,
Yes.
if you excuse me real quick, I gotta go turn off the TV in my other room. So, Jake, you want to move us on?
I guess yes, sir. Yes, I will.
Alright.
Okay,
Gee. Let's talk about
Yes.
the PWBA. Because that happened over the weekend.
The PWBA.
Yeah, the finals.
Do you want to do the honors?
I'm trying to find the stats.
All right. So, what are we talking about now, Jake?
As y'all can tell, Mr. Nathan over here is a huge bowling fan over here.
Oh, like you ain't? Like neither of you are?
All right.
Okay.
What are we moving on to? Baseball.
There's only one thing. The PWBA.
What?
Let's see, it's Dasha Kolova became the fourth bowler in PWA to issue the ball televised 300 game as she won the Pepsi PWBA Louisville Open on Saturday.
Nice.
Yes, congratulations. Yes, very nice for her.
Come on, give me something good. Ooh, okay.
All right. So,
All right, Chris,
are we moving on
Ready
to?
to move on?
Yeah.
The MLB.
All right. Major League Baseball has 2 games that have ended already. We have the Detroit Tigers, I almost said Detroit Lions, against the Kansas City
Not
Royals.
much of a difference. Not much of a difference.
Yeah, they both suck. Royals won that game 10-2. And the other final from today is the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees split the series with Toronto, winning today 1-0. Masahiro Tanaka went 8 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. So very good.
Very. They're gonna need that from him. He's just gotta stay consistent. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And breaking news: the Orioles have a lead in the 8th inning.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Say that
Yes,
again.
you heard that right. The Baltimore Orioles are in the top of the 8th, winning against the Houston Astros 5-4.
Oh, what? God. After losing 23-2.
Yeah, that was a great showing from the Orioles. What the hell?
Oh, I need to do. Wait, do I have any more?
Wow. 23 runs. Imagine that.
What can I get from this?
Man, that. What are you doing?
D2.
Oh, alright. I'll explain it later if you want. We also have a game coming to a close. Cincinnati is currently losing 6-3 to the Cubs. The Mets are rallying. They are down 5-4 with 2 runners on in the 7th.
Oh, you got pulled.
First off, can we just take a moment and look how good the Mets are doing right now? Like,
Yeah,
really
the-
pushing.
Both New York teams had a very long win streak, and Mets are still going with theirs.
Yes, they are. Yes,
It's
they are.
crazy.
I love it. I love it. Hope the Mets do make the playoffs.
I mean, I hate the
maybe
Mets, but gotta give respect where.
Maybe a Mets versus Yankees World Series matchup.
If that happens, I will lose my damn mind. All right, you will probably hear from me ever. Yeah, in 2000, Subway
And
Series.
then we got Mr. Castillo, whatever his name is. Drop the ball! He dropped the ball!
Ugh. But yeah, the Mets are really rolling right now.
Yes,
In
yes,
the
very
top
good.
of the 7th inning, Jose Barrios was pulled.
All right. Currently, the Cleveland Indians are winning 3-1 against the Minnesota Twins.
Hit a home run.
Well, this is a big game for the Cleveland Indians because if they win this game, they tie it with the Twins.
No. They will take the lead.
Yeah.
They will take the lead.
They lost last night, though.
Wait, what? No, they didn't. Oh shit! Yeah, they did.
They
Huh.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
where was I?
If they would have won yesterday, they would have taken the lead.
Where was
they
I
would've
this
won
entire
yesterday, Yeah,
time?
but they lost 4-1.
Oh yeah, Odorizzi.
Yeah.
Yeah, my days are all mixed up, man.
But yes, this Cleveland, they need to win this game, tie the division up.
Come on, give me.
I really got good faith in the Cleveland Indians. I think they will take the division. Right now, Minnesota, I think Minnesota's slacking a little bit.
They are. Actually, they're playing.
Cruise on a 10-day DL.
Here's the thing. The Twins are actually playing pretty good baseball right now. They are playing a little above 500. The only thing is, the Indians are playing out of their goddamn minds.
They want the division.
Yeah.
That's what's motivating them.
So it's not necessarily that the Twins are doing bad, aren't doing good. It's really just the Indians are doing good. I wouldn't go that far, Nate. Alright.
Howard Duffy's on the mound.
Let's go ahead and discuss Cleveland real quick.
For Cleveland?
Savelli.
Wait, who?
Oh, why would you?
Aaron Savell.
Oh, he's a new guy, right? That you guys called up?
Yeah, new guy that they called up.
Okay. But yes, anyway, this is a big game. They need to win this game. They need to hold him. Minnesota, here's the thing, here's another take I want to talk about Minnesota. They also have a good shot at winning it because look at the schedule for the rest of the year. I saw a couple games with the White Sox. You got Tigers, Detroit. Yeah, look, this is easy.
You have Detroit 10 times.
And Cleveland's got the Red Sox next tomorrow. They start a 3-game series.
Here's
with the Red Sox.
I want to talk about this real quick. All right, this upcoming stretch is going to really show what the Indians are made of. All right, they got a 3-game set against Boston. They have a 4-game set against the Yankees, and then right after that, they got a 3-game set in Queens with the Mets.
See what I mean? Look at the schedule differences. Cleveland has got a harder schedule than Minnesota.
So let's go ahead and hold up right now. All right. Who do you think's gonna win the American League Central? Go.
Well, judging by the schedule differences, but looking at the Cleveland Indians, they've been really hot ever since that All-Star break. They came all the way back to hopefully tie the series, to tie the division with the Twins.
All right.
But the Twins are still hot. They're still one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Yes, they are.
Judging by schedule differences, I'm gonna put my heart out, and I think Cleveland's gonna take the division. I really think they are. They got the best pitching depth in the majors. They do. And I think that's what they're gonna use to get in there. And also the Yasiel Puig, unbelievable. He's been hot ever since he got to Cleveland.
Yes, he has.
He just hit his first home run last night.
Yeah, he just did hit his first home run last night. But Puig, I feel he's doing this good because he's not as pressured like he was in Cincinnati.
He wasn't that pressured though.
Cincinnati, he was supposed to be the leader.
Yeah.
Right? Basically supposed to be the leader.
But he thrived in that role.
That's why he's in the high 250s right now. I feel like that pressure's off of Puig right now. I feel like he can, get up there now, be a little more relaxed, and just play the game.
All right. You know what I think?
What do you got?
I think this is Minnesota's division. All right. Indians. Indians. They look completely different than they did before with their World Series teams. They have, yes, a good young starting pitching core. However, put them in pressure situations, and how will they do? We got to see how they react. This next stretch of games is really going to show us what that young team is made of. While the Twins have constantly beat up on the Yankees, on the Red Sox, and I'm pretty sure they even beat up the Astros.
Let's not forget, Cleveland did beat the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yes, but can they do it again?
Pummeled them, actually. Pummeled them.
Can they do it again? That's the question.
The question is, that's a big question. Can they do it again?
From April 29th to May 2nd, the Twins took 3 out of 4 against the Astros.
I'm dead.
But the two juggernauts in the whole, like, in the American League right now, is definitely the Yankees and the Astros. There's not a doubt about that. It's definitely between those two.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the American League that are. Yeah,
yes, obviously, Chris, you are showing signs of, you know, you're scared for your Yankees.
Oh yeah. I'm not that confident. We gotta get Severino back. We gotta get Betances back. We need some of our players.
Yes, and yes, Yankees. In case y'all didn't know, they have a whole ton of players in that whole IL.
Basically, we have a whole all-star roster on the IL.
Yes, and basically, you guys had AAA. Your team was basically a AAA team.
Our team was basically half New York, half Scranton. That's basically what it was.
But look at the team though. Like they're first in the AL. That Torres guy, he's tearing it up.
You have
Luke Voigt tearing it up.
Judge, Clint Frazier when he was up, was doing good. Mike Tauchman, he's been incredible. Hicks, he's one of the best center fielders in the league. Gardner, he's the heart of the team.
He's getting up there in age. But he can still play.
Oh yeah. Stanton is NL MVP. When he's right, he's amazing. Maben.
Here's the thing with Giancarlo Stanton though. He's injured. He has not played a lot this whole year.
He's got to be healthy. He has 1 home run this entire season.
Yes, that's not good.
You got
very good.
Voigt's been good. LeMahieu, Torres, Gregorius, Urshela, Sanchez. A lot of good players on that Yankees team. But then again, the Astros are just as good.
Oh, but the Astros.
Astros have the best record in the league.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, the Astros have the best record at 77-40. Now, this is a tough thing to look at. The American League is a very, very tough division. Not as many teams are competitive in the American League, but there are so many teams that are dominant in the American League that you just don't know what's going to happen.
What teams are we talking about here?
You have the Yankees have been dominant. The Rays have really crushed some people. The Twins, the Indians.
Here's the thing with the Rays. The Rays had a great start. But here's the thing, though, they're falling apart. They need to keep that. That wild card spot.
They've been doing all right. They've been doing all right as of late. They haven't been as good as they were, but Jesus Aguilar was a pretty good acquisition for the Rays.
They can't fall apart.
Yeah,
they can't.
Because look at what happened with the defending World Series champions. They fell apart from the start.
Oh, that's actually 570.
Let's actually talk about that real quick. The defending World Series champions are not even remotely close to making the playoffs.
They're out.
No, they aren't.
They're out, right? They're not out yet?
They're 15.5 back from New York in the division.
Really?
But they still have a chance at the wild card. However, it's a long shot. They are 6.5 out of the wild card. They've got to turn it on now. Because if they don't, they're done. And we're not even talking
what are even the chances of even for them to make the playoffs?
They have to catch Oakland, which is not going to be easy because Oakland's been pretty good. And they have to get through Tampa.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to take it. I think Boston's done, guys. I think they're done.
I think so too. That pitching staff really let them down.
Oh, big time.
One of the best rotations in the league let them down.
Just like Chris Sale, like, sort of. No, actually, he fell apart, too.
He was not good from the start.
No, had a horrible start. He did manage to get, like, over 200 strikeouts.
I never thought I'd actually be saying this, but their best starter has been David Price.
Who just went down on the IL?
Now you're even worse. Like, you're in an even worse position since David Price is on the IL. Your only good starter of this season is gone.
Yep. If I was the Red Sox, I'd shut him down.
If I were a Red Sox fan, I'd be shitting myself right now because you're in a horrible position.
Terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
It's crazy how a year can change things.
Many people are going to be shocked about this, but I hate the Red Sox more than the Yankees. I really do.
Thank God.
I dislike the Red Sox so much. I hate the fans. I'm sorry, Boston Red Sox fans, but you guys are just annoying. Ever since the last year you guys won it.
Well, here's the thing, alright? I look back at when I realized that the Red Sox were out of it. This is when I realized it. Starting on July 22nd, they had a 3-game set against Tampa. It was Tampa for 3, New York for 4. Tampa for 3, New York for 4. They had about 14-game stretch of where it was only 2 teams, Tampa and New York. That was their best shot at catching both those teams in the division.
Exactly.
They started off good. They beat Tampa 2 of 3, and they beat New York 3 out of 4. Then they fell apart, got swept by Tampa, and got swept by the Yankees.
Yes, they did. That can't happen.
Yep, so
That can't happen.
they dug themselves out a little bit, but then they put themselves in a worse position than they started.
That's true.
And that's something that's really going to hurt them down the road.
Now let's go to the National League, shall we?
Alright. National League, we have Atlanta still up in the division. Chicago is still leading Central by 2 games. The Brewers are on a 5-game win streak. They are hot. And the Dodgers are on top of the West. We're not even going to talk about that because we already know the Dodgers won that.
Oh, Dodgers by far won.
Yeah, so the wild card is Washington and Milwaukee in the wild card.
Yes. Washington and Milwaukee.
With St. Louis and New York right behind.
That NL Central, man, between the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Cubs, those 3 teams, they're fighting.
Yeah, they are. This is not pertaining to this year, but I have a hot take right now.
Alright.
2020, alright? Your National League Central Division champions will be none other than the Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds.
That pitching staff has been very good.
Explanation, please.
Alright, the pitching staff has done an incredible job this season. They have one of the best team ERAs in baseball. Let me go ahead and look real quick. They are 5th at 4.04. So they are 5th in ERA.
That's pretty good.
They are 4th in total team strikeouts. And they are 4th in total team saves. The team has done a great job with their pitching staff. And they have some young hitters coming up. Senzel, Aquino, and you got some of the veterans. Votto's been hot. Eugenio Suarez, he's been good. You have some good veterans, and you have some really good young players coming up. With that pitching staff, they could be a real threat next year. Add a few more pieces, Cincinnati Reds could be dangerous.
Cincinnati, I could see that. The dominant pitching staff. Votto's got to give it all it takes, right?
Yeah.
He's coming up in age. He's not going to be playing forever.
But he's always been consistent. That's the thing.
I respect that.
So, I think the Cincinnati Reds will have a very good shot at winning the NL Central next year.
If everybody just stays healthy, keeps playing how the way they're playing.
Yeah, Sonny Gray surprisingly an ace in Cincinnati. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. But yeah, that Reds team has been really impressive this year.
Yes. And
But
better than the Pirates. I'll give you right now, they're better than the Pirates.
yeah, let's go ahead and move back to this season. Right now, the National League is in a position where it is clustered. The Mets are on an 8-game win streak right now, and let's see, how are they doing against the Nats? They are still down 5-4 against the Nationals, so their win streak's on the line. However, they've been red hot, and they could really make a run for it.
The Mets? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Mets could really make a run for the wild card and the division.
That Marcus Stroman pickup was very nice.
I didn't like that pickup initially because you looked at it and the Mets didn't really have a chance at the time. Well, now they got a good chance.
You didn't like it because your Yankees were trying so hard to get him, and
alright, that
didn't work out.
Okay, I didn't like that either, but in all honesty, the Mets seemed to be out of it at the time. Right.
But look at them now.
Yeah. They've come out of nowhere. So
I'm telling you, man, they got a shot. They really do got a good shot.
yeah, they do. It's crazy how things change. I don't even know how they did that. The Mets just really turned it on.
Turn on the Jets, man. Playoffs are coming closer than you think.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Well, let's go ahead and look at some of the key matchups coming up this week. Clearly, you have the Indians and Red Sox and Indians and Yankees. That's going to be a big matchup. Baltimore could actually extend their lead over the Astros, which is, I think I need to go to the hospital.
I think I need to put glasses just to double check that. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, that's weird. Oakland and Houston are going to be playing a 4-game set this weekend. That's going to be a series to keep an eye on.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Texas, they're still in it. They got Toronto and Minnesota coming up this weekend. So Minnesota is going to be a pretty good challenge for them.
Oh, sure.
After today, on Tuesday, the Atlanta Braves start a 9-game homestand, 3 games against the Mets, which is a division rival, so that's going to be a pretty good one to keep an eye on. And then right after that, they have a 3-game set against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah,
Dodgers
so those
are the best team in the National League.
Yeah, those are some key matchups to keep an eye on. We got Cubs Phillies coming up. That's going to be a pretty good one to keep an eye on.
Mr. Overrated Bryce Harper himself.
Yeah. Brewers Nationals this weekend. And then right after that, Brewers Cardinals.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
And for your entertainment, go ahead and tune in this week to Dodgers Marlins to see a home run derby. I'm just joking, Marlins fans. But yeah, Dodgers Marlins are coming up.
Let's not forget. They beat the Brewers 15-1.
Yeah. And for the rest of the month, we have a really big matchup coming up. 2 of the best teams in the American League. Well, 2 of the best teams in Major League Baseball, actually. One in the AL, one in the NL. From August 23rd to August 25th. It'll be the New York Yankees in LA to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's definitely a series.
So, yeah, that is definitely a series you want to keep your eyes on. And so for shits and giggles, I might as well try and see if, Jake, you can guess some of these Yankees nicknames for Players Weekend, because that is Players Weekend, is the Dodgers series. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right.
kidding me?
You should know this.
Kidding me? I don't know. Gio Gonzalez? I'm not
No,
sure.
no, Urshela, Gio Urshela.
Oh.
Okay. Big Maple. You should know this one.
Who?
Big Maple.
Maple. Luke Voigt?
No, Paxton.
No.
Oh, off, dude.
2 for 2.
The Missile.
Oh my
Wait, what was the nickname?
The Missile.
The Missile.
Instagram reference right there.
Oh, no.
Nate, you know
That's
it. Yeah, go ahead.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Aroldis Chapman, yes, you got it.
Oh, Chapman.
Wait a minute.
Alright,
Man, I'm not good with nicknames, bro. Give me a
here's another one. Parmesan Carlo.
Brett Gardner?
No, Parmesan Carlo. Giancarlo Stanton. Parmesan cheese. He made a play on words. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it was so good. Alright, this one was a funny one. Actually, no, this wasn't a funny one, but this was just really confusing. B-A-J.
B-A-J. Really expect me to know these?
This one, no, because I had no clue when I first saw it.
I don't. No
Nate,
idea.
do you have any guesses?
What's the name of it?
B-A-J.
B-A-J. No.
Aaron Judge.
Oh, I know. I see now.
Oh,
Big ass
Aaron Judge.
big ass Judge.
Oh, big ass.
I don't know. That's the first thing that popped into mind because he's a big ass person. I mean, I don't know. Big Aaron Judge.
Or you play the show and steps up Big Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has everyone except 2 people have nicknames on the Yankees. Here's one that confuses me. All right, DJ LeMahieu's nickname is Big Fundy.
Fundy?
Fundy. F-U-N-D-Y. I don't know what that means, but I'm really confused about that one.
Maybe he's having a fun day.
I don't know. Either way, that's some of the funny nicknames I saw and some of the weird ones that I saw. All right, do we have anything else?
I think that's it.
Alrighty. Anything you guys want to say?
Tune in next time. We'll keep you guys up to date on our follow us on our Instagram page, New Age Sports, new underscore age underscore sports. I believe
Underscore.
that's it, right? Yes.
And
underscore at the end of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So please keep in touch with us. We will provide updates on scores and like big news.
Yep. And
this will be Jake signing off.